media for being here today. So you've had a long day, so maybe it'll be longer, I don't know, but thank you for being here today. Hal, the reports?
Yes, sir. Should be a little short and sweet. First, which is nothing on there, I just want to say, this is a time of year like every other department. You're going full tilt and starting with your projects and everything, and no different with us and mowing and everything like that. And the guys are doing wonderful if you've been out there. We're keeping up part-time. I have one to start in a couple weeks, and then two will start 1st of June. So that'll be my 3. My part-time mower has already started, so just to let you know we're up and swinging full tilt here. With that, we're going to old business or unfinished business stuff we keep in there. We did 34 foundations on the first pour. We have 33 ready to pour hopefully next week. With that, brief side note is concrete is getting expensive. When we get to budget time, we may have to look at some things. I'm going to do analysis. I think we're still okay what we're charging. I'm not sure yet, but it's like I think I paid $160 a yard. My first bill was like $900 some just for the concrete, just so you know. So, I mean, we've got it coming in, but it's a budget thing. I can't take that money and put back in that account. So I may have to budget more for concrete, and we may be looking at some pricing. With that, the wood giveaway program, I still believe in. This month, it was 4 loads. We cut it off at the end of, last month. We cut it off at the end of last month. I think the total was 31. Yeah, 31 overall. Now that would be vouchers. Okay, so you understand. We have some that are regulars we know that doesn't have to get vouchers. We use Ken and his crew because he knows who needs it. But I've always been open to people in the city, street, wherever, if they have somebody that's in dire need and need a load, that's what we do. Ken is one to be able to work through that, so I'm not giving it away for somebody to sell. So still good program. We still have quite a bit left. I think going into winter this year will be okay. I'm sure there'll be some more to cut up later on. I have some to still split. With that, 4 doesn't seem like a lot, but and I didn't think it was a lot, but when we weed whack, the government flag holders that are metal that stick in the ground always eat up string, and it's always hard to get around them depending where they're at, different stuff. So I finally, with some of the guys talking to me, we decided to start putting them in the foundations, neatly in the back. They can still put a pot in. You would not believe the good response I've been getting. I mean, into tears even on some, which is very nice. No, they were very excited that we did that. We're started out in 75. We're almost through 50 right now, but the Legion circles have all been done.
Bless you.
So we still have plenty to do. It'll probably be an ongoing summer project to get them in there, and plus the new ones coming will drill. So I'm eating up a lot of bits right now, but I think it's well worth the deal. One, weed whacking will be much easier, and it seems like the people like it, and they'll last longer. They won't get bent, broken. And I believe now they're plastic, that is what the Legion is bringing out. So they're all heads and everything are plastic. So being in the foundation, they're going to last longer than being in the ground. So we think that's a good thing. Getting into new business, just to let you know some of the things that are going on this year. We've got the chapel cleared out. Mr. Dobbins is due. I know the material's in. He's due to come in any time now. He said a couple weeks unless he got behind, so I'm guessing that would have been the end of last week. I've talked to him briefly, but not about that. So he will be coming in. It'll be planking through the first probably 20 feet when you come in, down the hallway in the bathroom, and then the rest will be carpet. We still have original carpet. That cost is just short of $14,000 to do that, so you know, 13 and change for labor and all material. With that, the front entrance, I gave Mike Bradford the go-ahead. He is going to start the 1st or 2nd week in June, depending on health. His health has been a little bad. He's getting better. He thinks he'll be able to do that. What that'll entitle is we'll be pulling out all the bushes in front. They will come out. We'll take all the rock and everything out of there. And we got to do a little wall work around it, and then there'll be pavers, and they're kind of like what the preacher stand has. We're gonna put a couple diamond prints in it, and I'm gonna get some flower pots to put in there, so there's flowers. It'll just be maintenance free. Won't have to worry about it. Kids can ride their bikes through and not throw stones that we clean up daily, and I'm nothing against them, they're just riding their bikes. It's time to clean it up, make it look nice. So we're heading that way. I did have it in here also, part of it. I've got a lot of good feedback from the banners. People seem to enjoy those, and so that's nice. That'll be less work for us as far as flowers. Secretary is ordering flowers now. She came to me with what she felt was a problem, and I do too. We're trying to figure it out. The chapel looks real bare. We don't want to hang anything anymore on the walls, outside walls to water. The heat beats them up too bad, and we can't keep them watered enough to keep them alive. So she would like to do something around the pillars and greenery. She's even seen some artificial stuff, so I don't know where that's going, but I'll let you know. As far as that, it does. It looks really plain, and we want to do some more stuff. I don't think, but we'll go through this and then, so that's okay. The new, we had put a new water heater in the shop. Just wanted to let you know that. We had plumbers do that one. I didn't do it this year. I did it last time. And then I'm getting ready to call Denny Electric, I think it is, to get a price to bore some underground so I can get power out to the flags in Legion 3. With that, we're going to pull heavy enough wire that is max stream. We have met a couple times on a sanctuary pond or river walk. I haven't got the hole dug yet. That's something, right now there's too much water in the front field for me to try to get the tracker down there to dig. I would probably lose it. But we'll see where that's going. As far as, I've been kind of thinking about that a little bit, drawing some stuff up. So I'll let you know more on Max's project, but I think we get power over there, then we can light the flags up and light the Legion 3 flag up. I think it needs to be. I can't get electric to all of them, but I think to honor them, we need to light them up right in front there, and I think it'll accent that pretty good. Preacher stand, I did put some of the stuff in. Preacher stand is going well. Grass is coming in. Project's all done. The kids, I got a lot of kids hanging out. They're leaving the bell alone, which is nice. You don't have anybody touching the bell and messing with it. We haven't been able to do the other project yet. Damien and the guys at Weld are pretty busy with equipment. Dustin's firing up with all the stuff and then repair and maintenance, but if not, we will do it this winter and have it ready for next year. So the burn barrel and stuff on there. I am looking for some emblems to go in the preacher stand. Oh, for the press, and I apologize, and this is my bad. Tom Kinch came over, which I was so excited because he's the one that gave me the bell. Okay, it is not the Legion bell. Okay, he said it was there when the VFW was there, but before you report on it, you can do whatever you want. I don't think it's the VFW bell.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the building was first used in 1851, was FCC, First Christian Church.
It looks like a church bell.
It does.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, it happens to be where I go now, but we were sitting talking with this in my men's group, and he said, one of the elders went, well, yeah, the church started in 1851 there. And the bell was cast in 1850. So I'm trying to do a little more research, so I will correct, but I want to eat crow there, because Tom goes, why'd you call it the Legion bell? I went, thought you that's what he told me. He said, no, the VFW was in there, but he said, they probably didn't even have a bell. It probably was the church bell.
It looks.
So I'm trying to do a little more research for you to get exactly what it is. Now, it's okay that I have American Legion on there. He was okay with that. He loved the bell. I've got video of him ringing the bell, which I wanted, which is cool. He looked pretty good, actually. But I will honor the VFW along with all the other branches. That's the whole idea of what we're trying to do back there. So I just want to let you know that. I had to correct you. I was wrong. Was he come over and
Yes.
he read the article and went, why'd you call it that? I went, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. So anyway, that's will be taken care of, and I'll get you more on that once I get that verified. The pieces are coming together where it looks that way, but I will try to get into FCC's history and see if I can find pictures with it so I can verify and say that's it, and then we'll have you put something out. How goofed, it's really this. But it's an honor to have it. It's a great ringing bell. The tone is amazing. This guy had to come out and ring it too, so he's played with it.
I didn't throw rocks at it though. I just came out. Yeah.
No. It is locked. It can be unlocked and rang. It's and like I say,
It has a beautiful tone though.
It really does. It really does. one other thing I didn't put on here, because it's really in the early stages. Part of with the equipment we have back there and stuff, it's one to be a good steward to take care of it and keep it well. There's blades, different stuff that I have to set outside. I don't have room. So I've kind of drawn AutoCAD a little lean-to to put out. We'd like to change the wood pile and kind of get the wood underneath to keep it dry, keep my plow blades in, maybe leave it. The sucker is so hard to get out of the one building where it can be tucked in there. So it'd be open on the front, 3 sides.
So just like an awning?
Yeah, basically. The street has them. If you go in the street where they have it, it's all open. I'm just looking like a 50 by 15. I don't know what it costs. It may not be able to happen. It may have to go smaller. But it's just something I'm looking into. That would kind of complete that shop back here. And then the stuff would be under the weather. Because if you've had stuff and Jerry with the farm and stuff sits out, Mother Nature kind of takes a beating on it. It's hard to keep up on it. So we don't want it to get rot like that being outside. We'd rather have it under something. So I will let you more know on that, because that'll be quotes. I'll have to get quotes on that and see what that costs. It's just something down the road. And the last thing I have, 2 things is, probably not, I don't know if next year, once I get the budget and figure out perm, I would like to start opening up Parsons, put lots in there in the Parson farm. Maybe do half. I don't know if I can be able to afford whole, but start getting the roads in to give people options, so either out on 74, 75, or at that area. I would like to start developing that if I can. I know roads will be not cheap, but cheaper. Street department, I know, will help us do that and pave them, but I'll let you know more on that cost as we get going. I've got to lay it out again. I've laid it out twice and I'm not comfortable with it. I want to lay it out again and see. I'm trying to get the most out of it. But with that, that's the last thing. If you look at your cremations for this month, it was 50-50. If you go on back, it's 44%. Why I'm letting you know that is, it's cremation 3 is starting to fill up. The niches that are beautiful and expensive are starting to fill up. We got to start making room for more. That's part of why I want to do Parsons, because I would like to make that a centerpiece in that Parsons. Is another cremation or another niche area I would think would be kind of cool. I'm also filling some property to do it also down the road, but it'll be a few years before I'm ready. So I wanted to put that out in front of you. Money-wise, we've been doing okay. We're pretty much on pace as normal. With that, some of you may know we had to go in front of the wage committee and start going our dreams and wishes and all that good stuff. They're looking at that and some other stuff. And they approached me by being open-minded to find a way to generate more money at the cemetery. There was a couple options that I'm not a big fan of, don't know. That was be very later hours with a fee. Not totally against that, but I have family men working for me, and I don't want to get too late. We have now, it's the ordinance that you guys govern says no burials after 4. Doesn't mean if they hit at 3:59, we will still bury them. But if they would come in at 4:10, it's an extra $1,000. What's the point that we really don't want to do it? Now, it is set up with the attorney that I can waiver that, so if it's an out-of-town funeral home coming and they get stuck by a couple trains, you know, they were trying to get there at 3:30, I can waiver that fee.
Do you have any requests for later burials?
No, I had one last year the lady was willing to pay, and it was an ash funeral. Like I say, I just got mixed emotions, but like I say, if the board decides that's what they want to do, then we'll look into it. I told them definitely not Sunday. I would probably lose 2/3 of my crew, or a third of my crew.
How long does it take for a normal burial, on average?
If it's just a burial and we're doing it, not long at all. The problem is it is set up in the cemetery for what they call a 15-minute committal. So you have 15 minutes to be out there. Does anybody stay close to that?
Nope.
No. They'll go half hour to 2 hours.
Yes, if you did it at 4 o'clock, that would be so late for them.
Some cemeteries, they've had 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, yeah, that's too late.
I think so, but once again, I run the place, I don't govern the place, but you guys will be involved in that if that goes on. It's just I wanted to get that in your head. If they decide, I have no problem trying to make more money. 2021 was when we raised the rates. We were doing it, why? About every 8 years, doesn't mean we have to, we can go more. Out-of-town funeral homes just come and they're like, really, that's it? I mean, for what people charge? But one brain says, okay, we raise, but the other one in the mayors I've been through, it's a perk for the city. Follow me? So it's kind of there's a balance there somewhere we have to go. Not that my budget's bad, I don't think I mean, cost of living, different stuff, it's gonna go up some. Equipment-wise, we're okay where I can start changing a little bit at a time. Shouldn't be too bad. But like you all know, insurance and wages are the biggest thing. And that's another thing they're looking at. They're trying to let us keep our people, you know, and then go out. I mean, back then, $20 an hour, that's a ton of money. Now with cost of living and you know, with them changing minimum wage and stuff, that's not.
Especially when you go to McDonald's and make $14 an hour.
That's what we fought many
With
years.
no responsibilities.
Back when they first started about that, the guys we were talking in a morning meeting and they happened to bring that up. And I said, you guys really want that to happen? Well, they think it'd be good. And I said, you don't understand, that now puts you in poverty.
Yep.
And they're like, what? And I said, do the math.
So if an employee would work, if we did an after-hours burial, and they worked, would they be paid time and a half?
You betcha. You betcha.
I was gonna
Stay-
say.
yep, 40 After 40 hours, it's time and a half.
That would be one,
That-
that would be very clear to whoever's doing the app. I mean, that's why they're paying an extra fee.
Well, no, we would make it more
To
than,
cover that cost.
yeah, like now, after 2:30, it's an extra
Okay.
$350. That would have to go up. But in my numbers game and what I budget is, okay, so we're gonna go up here, and now I'm gonna keep 2 guys at time and a half. Well, okay, so they leave at 3:30 now. They work 8 hours a day, they come in at 7, half-hour lunch, and leave at 3:30. So now I have a 7 o'clock funeral. Do I make them come home and come back? Most of my guys live out of town.
That would be a
You'd
tough
be
one.
paying for
So
the
now am I
time.
paying overtime from 3:30 to, you know, which I have plenty of work to do, but it's overtime. See, the justification in a budget doesn't fit my head. I get what they're trying to do, and I don't think they understood what I was trying to tell them. That's fine, I'm going to budget, but now my overtime budget's gonna go. Am I really, do we have to really go high to do that, to cover that? You know, there's a lot of issues. They just want me to think about it, and I have a board, and guess what? I want you guys to think about it too, what we can do. There's other options. I kind of hate to bring them up, but I will. Some cemeteries, vault company drops off the vault, and you do the sets, you do everything. Now, I happen to have a guy that's 30 years in the business, don't know how long he's gonna stay with me, but that's a lot of liability. I don't know if the city wants to take on, because you'd have to have liability, a bunch of liability insurance in that, believe it or not. I mean, you're hanging a 3,000-pound vault on 2 cables. And that means $80,000 to $100,000 truck to do it, to set them off. Gear, just the lowering device is $3,000. That's just the one lowering device. That's not the legs. And I mean, I can tell you, it's pretty expensive to get started. And you can't just have one set.
It seems if we did, if you're going to go to after hour, then it would have to be very clear too that we're not gonna have a 2-hour, you know, graveside service. It would have to be very clear that the timing, I mean, I know you're very liberal during the day. Not that I'm one of those that goes 2 hours, but yes, I know sometimes but in the evening, we'd have to be very
Well,
clear.
and I want to be open and honest with you. The problem is the law, when I started 17 years ago, funeral director had to stay until that vault hit the ground, that hole, in the bottom of that hole. Now, it's once it hits the rollers, it's mine,
Then it's your responsibility.
and they book.
Okay.
I don't deal with a family through this crisis. I get them right then. And trust me, I've had to step in and say, I'm really sorry, but this vault guy has another loved one he has to take care of, and it freaks them.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Some not, but some do. It puts me in a predicament to say, hey, you can't stand there for 2 hours. I don't deal with the family except, I mean, if they buy a lot, yes. But I mean, the funeral home takes care of all that, and then they get to leave. So they're not out there like they before. And I'm serious, I'm just speaking honest. I've had families sit there, funeral home's gone, and we're just sitting there, and they're just sitting, they don't know what to do. And then I have to go politely go in and say, hey, I need to And it just,
Well,
you know what I mean? The funeral home should have to stay, but state law says.
I mean, I've stayed with you a few times. That's
Yes, and I have some
situation.
to do, but I just
But not
want
all do, though.
I just want you to see the full parameters of what we deal with. I mean, one, I don't know what time it gets dark, but it's 9 o'clock, so there's still light, so they'll hang.
Yeah.
And I get why. A lot of them are out of town, they haven't seen each other. Love to open up chapel and say, hey, why don't you guys go over there? But they like to be right there, and some will watch, and some, I mean, most of them are very gracious. I just have a few that get a little ouchy when we do that. So as we're thinking about this, I just want you to understand the whole parameters of what I deal with and what we do. I'm not totally against it. If that's what the upper management says, and that's what we'll do. But as I say, they're not pushing it, they're just asking. And I'm trying to think of ways. Raising the fees is probably the easiest one to do. And we're not totally out of line, I don't think. Excuse me, your private cemeteries, that $500 lot is $5,000 to $10,000. Okay, our opens at $550, or $550. That's $2,000 to $3,000. But they have to make their whole wage. Follow me, they're not tax based. So we're not out of realm moving closer to that. It's kind of what the mayor wants to do. That's usually who I go to, and I mean, I lay out scenarios and they pick, and they always pick the lowest one. Because they want it to be something for the city, I mean, the people in the city. So just throwing that out at the end here, so I don't want to bore you too long, but keep that going in your head, and if you got ideas, I'm open. So basically, lot sales, burials, okay, foundation work, cleaning stones.
I would think the funeral directors would have to maybe step up a little bit and talk to these people too and say, here's the expectations in this, rather than throwing it all on you.
I agree. I'm just going to tell you, doesn't happen.
Okay.
Doesn't happen, especially out of towns. I've had out of town funeral homes use my chapel and leave me with 50, 60 people and just do this to me and walk out the door.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a big enough boy and don't mind to go take care of it in a nice way, but I offend people, and it just is. I don't care how nice you are, that's their loved one. I literally had to go up and tell the son tell his mom that I'm taking his dad now. I have to get it because we were getting ready to go into after hours, and they didn't want to pay after hours for me.
Mhm.
And so I had to go up and take him and start wheeling him back, and mom was crushed, and that's not something I enjoy doing. I'm not sure why. I know I have to, but it's not something I enjoy doing. Some are real smooth, some, they're very I mean, they loved each other, they're very close, and it's hard to walk away.
Sure.
So when you deal with emotions, just make sure when we're doing this, we understand that. I mean, I'll do what I'm supposed to do, but it can get tough. It can get tough sometimes. So to tell them they have to leave in 15 minutes,
Yeah. Right.
because I don't think the funeral homes push that, because you understand that they're trying to get more business.
Sure.
So they don't want to upset the family. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. So
Right.
they don't want to rock the boat.
Mhm.
So just something to think about. I just kind of wanted to bring that up to throw it at you. Nothing, like I say, I appreciate where the city's going and looking at, because longevity and I mean, I have myself 17 years, Leanne's 14, Jeff, I think is 14, 2 at 10, the other 2 at 4, and then I have the new guy that just started. I'm fortunate to keep my employees. So if I can keep their bills paid and keep them happy, I appreciate them looking at that. With you too, it starts the 10th. The city already okayed it. I think the council already okayed it, was award code. You familiar with that? Jerry, remember that? I think you guys voted on it. It's a system that the city is paying that we can give out right now, like high fives. Like if I see another department where they help me out, I can send it out and it go out to all the employees. But it's coming down to where they can award points. Denny has checked with the State Board of Accounts, and they can give up to 400 points, which is $400. You can't give cash or anything, so if they step above and beyond, I don't know the criteria, that's up to the mayor. Right now, it's just high fives. It goes online the 10th. But then the guys will have that money, instead of the city giving them a whatever, they can either go to the city website, buy merch, hats, whatever, or they can go to Amazon and buy something they want. It's not a ton, but 400 is a cap. They can't go over that. They've hired a company where this is all going, and we're starting to play with it a little bit. We can create awards, different stuff, And once again, it's something cool they can do that, because if you give more to your employees, they take more ownership. You can, instead of, well, we're just going to work today. So there's things they can achieve, stuff like that. So you may hear more about it. Sorry, Jerry, I don't know if it's Board of Works or Common Council, I don't know which one voted on it.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's never came in front
So
of the
it
council.
might have been Board of Works that did it, that decided to do it, because they have to get okay. But it's all being done properly. They just had to pay this company to put this website together that we can use. Other than that, I'm sorry I've talked too long. Sir, I am done unless there's questions for me.
Any questions?
I have,
Nothing from me.
The only thing I want to remind everybody, Memorial Day, that service is on May 27th. It'll begin at 10:30, this with music, and then this actual service is at 11. We are reworking that ceremony, so there will not be as much walking. We've had a lot of requests of trying to cut down the walking for people who do come, so we're working on that. So that's coming together well. Heritage Walk is coming together really well, and that'll be September 14th, so, but no, those things are coming together fine, so we're really looking forward to both of those events. So, anything else for the good of the order here?
I don't think so.
All right, okay. We'll adjourn the meeting, and thank you very much then.
June the 6th.
Oh, that's right, we should have,
Okay.
We'll remind you.
D-Day.
It
I know, this year is just,
amazes me.
oh,
I know it.
this year is crazy.